We are trying to target Hamas, which hides among civilians.
Most of the casualties are terrorists.
Not so, says the UN.
62 of those killed, we believe, this is a figure from UNRWA, are civilian casualties. That simply encompasses those who are women and children. It does not include any civilian casualties who are men, even though we know that there have been some men killed as well.
The tough words from Israeli officials come as the international community calls for an end to the violence. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has been a little more outspoken than before.
I am deeply alarmed by the current escalation of violence in and around Gaza. This is unacceptable. I think the regional and international partners have not done enough. They should do more.
Israel's closest ally, the United States, again defended Israeli crimes against the Palestinian population.
The Israelis are working to reduce the threat against their own people. So they're going to continue, it appears at this time, to deal with this Hamas terrorist threat.
World leaders have been united in calling for an immediate ceasefire between the two sides, without taking into account the difference in the use of force. The Hamas capability is firing homemade rockets into Israel. Fewer than 5 Israelis have died in the past 3 days in comparison to the 300+ Palestinians.
All of the target there, civilian target, they're hitting, they strike the hospitals, the schools, universities, police quarters.
The ceasefire previously signed between Hamas and Israel expired earlier in the month. During the time, the Strip was under a crippling Israeli blockade.
The choice for the come or not, a choose between get killed very quickly or slowly. This is the only choice they're putting to the Palestinian people in Gaza Strip.
Israeli leaders say they're taking the steps to wipe out Hamas to defend their own civilians against rocket fire because
Enough it is enough.
But at what price? Massive civilian casualties on the Palestinian side.
Well, this is the latest that's coming in. Israeli patrol boats have rammed into a boat carrying humanitarian aid supplies to Gaza. The boat was carrying doctors and medical supplies. Former U.S. Congresswoman and Green Party presidential candidate Cynthia McKinney was also aboard the vessel. The shipment was organized by a group of international activists in defiance of an Israeli naval blockade on Gaza. Our correspondent Yusuf El-Halou from Gaza joins us to tell us about day 4 and all the updates that he can give us. Well, Yusuf, we know that warplanes have carried out airstrikes. Tell us your update of the situation there.
Yes, Kava, Israeli airstrikes continue to plant death everywhere across the Gaza Strip for 4 consecutive days. People here, especially children, cannot sleep. I mean, they couldn't sleep for the 3rd night. More deadly, lethal airstrikes carried out all day, all night, using American-made F-16 fighter jets, Apache helicopters, unmanned drones, as well as Navy gunboats. I mean, there is a story in every house. No place is safe here. No red lines for these ongoing strikes that target civilian, even inside their houses. Some of the targets that were struck actually were 6 mosques till this moment were totally destroyed and struck. Gaza's largest university was destroyed. Kindergarten was destroyed. Sports facilities, medicine warehouses, cars, all governmental buildings, all police stations, all security posts, medical crews and civil defense teams were among the casualties. Now, Gaza is really burning. Whenever you look from the window, you can see black clouds, and from time to time we hear loud explosions rocking Gaza, creating a panic and fear among the children and elderly and women. Now, Gaza's 1.5 million residents are experiencing a constant state of terror and fear. Is under horrific attack from the air, from the sea. Tons of bombs were dropped on different targets in Gaza, and the shrapnel fly hundreds of meters from the target, hurting civilians even inside their houses. In this freezing weather, much of Gaza is still without electricity. Destruction and devastation everywhere. Even the Rafah crossing is still closed. People are prisoners inside their houses. There is no escape. I mean, they cannot escape from Gaza. Gaza is under tight siege. Israel also imposing media blackout, as Israeli authorities prevent international reporters from entering Gaza and declared the border with Gaza a military closed zone, a closed military zone. A third day of aerial assaults passed. The airstrikes are ongoing, and the death toll continues to rise. Till this moment, the death toll rose to 365, in addition to more than 1,700 injured.
Right, and if you can expand on this most recent airstrike, which we have based on our reports that there were 40 airstrikes. It says 10 Palestinians were killed and 40 wounded. Is that roughly what you have?
Yes, that's right. Last night, actually, Israeli warplanes carried out a series of airstrikes. I mean, I would say more than 50 airstrikes, and attacked the governmental compound, which actually consist of tens of towers. Imagine tens of towers are being struck at once at the same moment, and that actually caused loud explosions. And when the medical crews rushed to evacuate and rescue the wounded, another airstrike targeted them. So there is no one safe. Even the doctors, even journalists are under fire.
We just had a report come in, Yusuf, that said an Israeli patrol boat has rammed into a boat that was carrying humanitarian aid supplies. Do you have any news on that?
Well, this is expected, actually, because the Free Gaza movement has been organizing trips to break the Israeli siege. And I also would like to add that Gaza seaport has been destroyed, actually. I was struck twice. And in addition to fishing boats were attacked. So this, is expected. I mean, Israel is trying to prevent any help from the outside world.
Okay. That's a correspondent. We appreciate that, Yusuf El-Hulu, giving us an update on the latest airstrikes there. 40 airstrikes, maybe more, as he said. There's electricity knocked out for Gaza, all the way in Gaza City to the north, and the latest 10 casualties, 40 wounded, numbers again maybe on the rise. Gaza, fourth day. Let's go on over now to Shirin Yassin, our Al-Quds